Hey guys, we're going to jump back to the beginning of Masechet Bava Kama, Parak Aleph, Mishnah Bet. The reason we're doing this is that a lot of the Mishnah that you've learnt now provide information that serves as a background to what this Mishnah is talking about, and given that background, you'll understand it much better. So now that we have that background, we're going to go through this Mishnah, and I think you guys are going to understand it great. This Mishnah deals with a case that the nezek would actually be chayiv, right? Which person is going to be chayiv if they cause nezek? Which property, if you cause damage to it, will be chayiv for that nezek? Are there exceptions to that? Right? Which cases are actually going to be chayiv in the nezek? We're going to see that the Reisha and the Sefer deal with two different parts of that topic. We're going to have two videos on that. This one is dealing with the Reisha. The next one is dealing with the Sefer. The Reisha is the first part of the Mishnah, and the Sefer is the second part of the Mishnah. So we see here, the Reisha is dealing with Kol Shechavti b'shmirato, Ksharti nizko, Ksharti miktat nizko, Chavti b'tashlumin, Hechsher kol nizko. That's the Reisha here. That's what this video is going to deal with. It's talking about who is going to be chayav if they cause nezek, and what cases are going to be. The Sefer deals with which property, that if you damage that property, you'll actually be chayav for. There are going to be some exceptions, and by learning the list that you would be chayav, you also learn the list of exceptions. Those cases you'd be patur. That's going to be a second video. See later on. So we're going to look first at kol shechavti b'shmirato, hiksharti et nizko. The word shechavti means sha'ani chayav. B'shmirato means b'shmira shalo. Shmira is protecting something, right? It's protecting it from damage, protecting it from causing nezek. We're going to learn about shomrim later on in the year, which are people that are actually their job is to protect something. Here it just means providing the proper safeguards, the situations to keep everything safe, that the property, your property, will not cause damage to other people's property. For example, keeping an animal on a leash would be shmira from that animal going and causing nezek, from eating someone, from ava, from shore, from breaking something. Making sure you only light a fire in a proper fire pit and have water available. That will be shmira from causing heather, aish, a fire somewhere else. If you were to cover a boar, you cover a hole, that would be shmira from the boar causing nezek. Those are all things that have shmira. Now, I don't have a chiyuv shmira in everything in the world. I have a chiyuv and shmira in certain things, those things that belong to me. So the Mishnah says, Kol shechavti b'shmirato, anything that I have a chiyuv in the shmira, which would be my things, and implied here is, and I don't provide proper shmira, right? If I'm chayiv in the shmira, but I don't provide shmira, hiksharti et nizko. Hiksher means I made it possible. Because if I made it possible for that nezek to happen, if I'm chayiv in the shmira, and I don't provide that shmira, heksharti et nizko, I made it possible for the nezek to happen. Again, part of this is implied. It's not really clearly laid out here. That the case is that I'm chayiv in providing shmira. If I don't provide that shmira, heksharti et nizko, I made it possible for that nezek to happen. This would be a situation where you made a bad choice, right? You didn't provide that shmira. The good choice would be providing the shmira. The bad choice would be not providing shmira. It would be irresponsible, negligent. For example, if I have a hole and I tried to put a sign there, right? There's a sign that says hole. There's a hole here, a warning hole. The sign is only as good as the hole being visible also. The proper shmira for the situation would be to cover the hole. If someone comes up and tries to figure out what on earth is this sign, they fall into the hole. Their animal falls into the hole because they didn't see it. They can't read a sign. That would be your fault, right? You didn't provide proper shmira in this situation. The proper shmira is, again, to cover the hole. In this case, I made a fence for a herd of goats. Well, I made a gate for the herd of goats, right? I didn't make a fence here. That's irresponsible. That's not proper shmira. And the animals are going to get out. They're going to terrorize. They're going to eat everything. because there's no fence. That's not proper shmira. That's a bad choice. The lack of shmira is that bad choice. Proper shmira is the good choice in the situation. Any case that I'm chayav to provide shmira, if I don't provide that shmira, heksharti et nisko am chayav. This is the basic idea we've been learning about. If you set up a situation where nezek happens, you're chayav in that because you're heksharti et nisko. Again, that's the only things that you're chayav in the shmira for. You would be heksharti et nisko. Kol shechavti b'shmirato. Anything I'm chayav in the shmira of it, heksharti et nisko. I set up the possibility for nezek implied if I don't provide that shmira. The Mishnah is going to talk about another type of case now. That's heksharti b'miktzat nizko, chavti tashlumin keheksher kol nizko. If I'm partially obligated in the shmira, right? I'm a partner. There's more than one person involved. Chavti b'tashlumin keheksher kol nizko. I am chayav to pay back. Tashlumin is paying back. Kaheksher kol nizko, as if I set up the possibility for all nezek. Now, this is a little bit misleading. It doesn't just mean there's a partnership, so I'm partially involved, and he's partially involved, and she's partially involved. It means there was like a teamwork situation where one person did a little bit, and without that person's action, I might not have been able to do any of it. But ultimately, I set up the situation that would lead to nezek. The mashal I like to give for this, and we'll see a case really in the Mishnah, in the Bartanura, is a combination of two chemicals. One of them is sodium metal. One of them is water. They're both totally safe by themselves, right? If you have both of them there, they're not going to cause any nezek. Can you guess what's going to happen if you mix them together? They explode. If one person has just the water and one person has just the sodium, there's no problem. But that second person who adds, right? Imagine you have water in a cup and someone throws in sodium and they say, well, he put the water there, he's at fault too. Well, the water was perfectly safe until you threw in the sodium, or vice versa. The last person that causes the nezek, even if it's just a little bit of it, miktzat, just some of the nezek, a little bit more likely case is what the Bartanura is going to mention. Somebody digs a very small hole. Now, the halacha is, if a hole is not 10 tefachim deep, it won't always be chayav if it kills an animal or hurts an animal. Hurts an animal, it always be. Killing an animal, it won't always be. The hole has to be 10 tefachim deep for you to be chayav if the animal dies. So let's say this person digs a hole 1 tefach, and let's say they actually had a really good shovel that without that shovel you would not be able to start the hole. It's totally because of that person that the hole could ever have been started. However, this hole will not cause an animal to die. If an animal were to trip in this and die, you'd be pater. Whoever dig the hole would be pater. So this case, the first person is heksharti miktzat nizko, but the Mishnah means the last person. Heksharti miktzat nizko means if you cause a little bit of the nezek, you set up a little bit of the nezek, but that's the last nezek, the last section that really causes it. Chavti b'tashlumin kaheksher kol nizko. You're obligated to pay back as if you did everything. Someone comes along and digs that hole much deeper. Even though this person could not have dug the hole at all if it wasn't for that first person starting it, only the second person is chayav. Hiksharti b'miktzat nizko means I only did some of the nezek, but it was that last step. Chavti b'tashlumin kaheksher nizko, kol nizko. I'm obligated as if I did all of it. The Bartanura gives the example of this hole. He says one person digs 9 tefachim, 9 handbreadths. Tefach is a handbreadth. It's about 3.2 inches or so, specifically. He digs it 9 tefachim deep. And then you come along and dig that one last tefach, and an animal dies after falling in. Only the second person is chayav because they made that hole something that's actually able to cause nezek. They were the ones that were heksher, kol nizko. The whole action of nezek was that last person's fault. right? The last person to contribute to nezek is the one that is chayav. Even if you needed the first person, even if the first person poured water all over the place, but they didn't pour in the sodium, you come in with the sodium in, causes a fire, only the second person is going to be chayav. So any situation where there's more than one person involved, and the second one finalizes, they put that last point in that will cause the nezek, only the second person is going to be chayav. That's hiksharti v'miktzat nizko. If I set up some of the nezek, again implied the last part of the nezek, chavti b'tashlumin keheksher kol nizko. You're going to be chayav to pay back as if you did all of the nezek, even if it wasn't only a little bit, only one tafach of digging, right? Any last little bit that sets up the situation, that's heksher, the situation for all the nezek, it's ka heksher kol nizko. You're chayav if you did the whole thing. So again, that is kol shechavti b'mishmirato heksharti et nizko. Anything that I'm obligated to provide shmira to, and I don't provide shmira, heksharti et nizko, I set up the possibility for nezek to happen. And then in hiksharti miktzat nizko, if I set up the possibility for just some of the nezek, specifically the last part of the nezek, chavti b'tashlumin kaheksher kol nizko. I have to pay back. Tashlumin is paying back for the nezek, paying the person whose property was damaged back. Kaheksher kol nizko, as if I set up the whole nezek. The seifa of the Mishnah is going to deal with property that would and wouldn't be chayav if you cause nezek to it. We'll see that in another video.